Hi, I'm Alex. I've spent my entire career on the factory floors and in the design rooms of the auto industry. And today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the exact quality system that the world's best car makers use to build excellence into every single part that rolls off the line.
Look, in automotive manufacturing, precision isn't just some goal we aim for. It's a hard requirement. We're talking about massive volumes, tolerances so tight you can barely measure them, and safety standards where there is literally zero room for error. Think about it. A single loose bolt, an out-of-spec part, that's not just a small mistake. It's a potential failure that could have catastrophic consequences down the road.
And those consequences, they hit hard, not just in terms of safety, but right on the bottom line. A single defect that gets out there can trigger recalls costing, well, billions. A perfect example, years ago, GM used the very systems we're talking about today to cut its warranty costs by over $2 billion. That's what's at stake. That's the financial reality when it comes to getting quality right or getting it very, very wrong.
We've all seen the slogans plastered on the factory walls, right? Zero defects, quality is job one. But let's be real. Achieving that has nothing to do with catchy phrases. Behind those slogans is a very specific proactive toolbox. It's a powerful combination of Six Sigma methods and industry-mandated core tools that are all designed to do one thing: prevent defects from ever happening in the first place.
Okay, so how does it all fit together? Well, first, we'll look at the systems framework. Then, we'll dive into the proactive toolkit itself. After that, we'll see how it all gets integrated into the product lifecycle to get real, tangible results. And finally, we'll wrap up by talking about what it really means to build quality in. All right, let's start with the framework. You have to understand that in the automotive world, Six Sigma doesn't exist in a vacuum. Nope. It works hand in hand with a set of standardized methods that are, frankly, non-negotiable for anyone in the supply chain. These are really the two pillars of automotive quality.
So, pillar number one is probably familiar to many of you, Six Sigma's DMAIC cycle. That's define, measure, analyze, improve, and control. This is our structured, data-driven playbook for solving problems and making existing processes better. It's really the engine that drives continuous improvement on the line.
And the second pillar? That's the set of core tools required by the IATF 16949 standard. And let me be clear, these aren't just good ideas or best practices. They are the required methods. This is the common language of quality that every single supplier in the global automotive industry has to speak. Okay, so now let's get into the proactive toolkit itself, and that's the key word here, proactive. This entire approach is about getting ahead of problems. It's all about finding and crushing risks long before a single bad part can ever be made. First up, we have the FMEA, Failure Mode and Effects Analysis. Honestly, you can just think of this as the official what-if tool for engineers. It's where, before we even think about cutting steel, we sit down and brainstorm every single thing that could possibly go wrong. We figure out how bad it would be, and then we build in countermeasures right from the start. And here's where it gets really powerful. FMEA isn't just about guessing, it's about quantifying risk. So, take this example, a process FMEA for welding a brake caliper. We look at a potential failure, like an incomplete weld. We rate its severity. A broken part is obviously very severe, so that's a 9. Then we rate the chance of it occurring and how easy it is to detect. You multiply those three numbers together and bam, you get your risk priority number, or RPN. A big number like 270 is a huge red flag that tells the team, hey, you need to fix this now. All right, next up is MSA, or Measurement System Analysis. The concept here is incredibly simple, but it is absolutely critical. It all boils down to this. You can't control what you can't measure reliably. If your data is bad, your decisions will be bad. It's the classic garbage in, garbage out problem. MSA is how we prove, with statistics, that our measurement systems, the gauges, the people, everything, can actually be trusted.
So an MSA, usually called a gauge R&R study, breaks down measurement variation into a few key pieces. We ask, is it accurate? Is it close to the true value? And is it precise or consistent? We dig into repeatability. Can the same person get the same number over and over? And reproducibility. Can different people get that same number? If the answer to any of these is no, then your data is suspect and you're flying blind.
So once we know we can trust our data, then we can unleash SPC, or Statistical Process Control. I love the analogy of a digital watchdog for the production line. By using control charts, we're essentially watching the process's heartbeat in real time. This lets the team on the floor see a process starting to drift out of line and fix it before it ever makes a bad part.
And this gets to the absolute core of what SPC is all about. It teaches the entire organization to understand the difference between two types of variation. You've got common cause variation. That's just the natural, random noise you'd expect in any stable process. You learn to leave that alone. But then you have special cause variation. That is a signal. That's a tool breaking down or a bad batch of material. That's your cue to stop the line and go hunt for the root cause.
And of course, these tools don't just work in isolation. You have to see them as a complete toolkit. The control plan, for instance, is the document that connects the risks we found in the FMEA directly to the checks on the production line. And when SPC flags a problem, that's when we pull out other tools like a fishbone diagram or the 5 whys to dig down to the actual root cause. It's all connected.
Okay, so here's the most important part. These are not just standalone tools you pull out of a box when there's a problem. The real power comes from how they're integrated, how they're woven into the entire life cycle of a product, from the very first concept sketch all the way to a finished car.
And the way this integration happens is through a process called APQP, or Advanced Product Quality Planning. Think of APQ as the master roadmap for any new part. It's this phased, structured process that makes sure we are building quality into the product and the process to make it, right from the get-go. No surprises at the end. Now, the culmination of all that APQP work is something called PPAP, the Production Part Approval Process. I always say, think of PPAP as the final exam. It's the moment of truth where a supplier has to hand over a binder full of hard evidence that proves, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that their manufacturing process is stable, capable, and ready for mass production.
And just look at what's inside that PPAP file. You've got your FMEAs, your control plan, your MSA studies, your initial SPC data, everything we've been talking about. It all comes together right here. A successful PPAP submission is the ultimate proof. It's the concrete evidence that you've followed the system to build a process that is truly under control.
So why go through all this trouble? Is all this paperwork and analysis actually worth it? Absolutely. Because the tangible results are just undeniable. This isn't some academic exercise. This is about driving real, measurable business results.
I mean, you look at the major automakers who have been using this system for decades. The story is always the same. You see huge drops in defect rates. You see massive reductions in warranty claims and costs. And of course, you see customer satisfaction go way up. The reason this system is non-negotiable in the industry is simple. It just flat out works.
All right, let's bring it all home. When you step back and look at the whole picture, you realize this is more than just a collection of tools. It's a completely different way of thinking about quality.
So, if you remember one thing, make it this. Automotive quality is a system. It's not about one magic tool. The whole focus is on proactive prevention, not trying to inspect bad parts at the end of the line. By weaving FMEA, MSA, and SPC into the entire product lifecycle through APQP and PPAP, you are literally building quality, safety, and reliability into the DNA of every single component. So, I'll leave you with a question to think about. Is your team truly equipped to build quality in, or are you still just trying to catch mistakes? If you're ready to strengthen your team's ability to apply these critical tools, come visit us at sixsigmadsi.com. We specialize in training and support that's built specifically for the high-stakes world of automotive manufacturing.